Hey guys, welcome to Homework Help for Year 5. I've created a average workbook just to help anyone who's new or unfamiliar with how averages work. And if you watch this video, you can maybe help you understand averages better and to do some of the tricky average questions that you will see. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, on the first page, we have what is the average. I made it very simple. It says the average, or another word for average is the mean. So when you go to year 9, year 10, and you're doing a topic called statistics, they don't call it the average, they call it the means. The means. Okay. Now it says the average is a bunch of numbers. The average of a bunch of numbers is the middle number of all the numbers. Okay, that's kind of confusing. I should just say the middle number. That's just the middle number. Okay, so the average of a bunch of numbers is the middle number, kind of all the numbers. So that makes sense. So if you have a number, let's say one here, one here, one here, the middle number is kind of halfway there. You know, balances that out. This one, this one. So the average is like a number that's kind of balancing out all the numbers in a sense. Anyway, so the way we find average is, you say the average is the total of all the numbers, divided by how many numbers there are. So suppose there are 3 numbers. So let's say the numbers are 2, 8, and 13. Let's say 2, 8, and 19. Okay, something a bit more random. So the way we find the average is we just add all the numbers up. So imagine these are your 3 numbers. We're going to add all the numbers up, and then we divide it by 3 because there's 3 numbers. Okay. So again, I'll say it again. Imagine these are your 3 numbers. I'll put it in boxes, and then to find the average of these 3 numbers, we add them up and we divide it by how many numbers there are. There are 3, and you get your answer. In this case, it will be 10. 10 plus 19 is 29. 29 divided by 3. How many 3's go into 29? This is again an improper fraction. So how many 3's go into 29? The answer is 9. 9 remainder what? 9 remainder 2 over 3. So 9 2/3. There's your average. Okay. You can leave your answer as a mixed numeral. It doesn't have to be decimal. It can be a fraction like this, like a mixed numeral fraction. All right. Let's just go through the question 1. It says, what is the average of 12, 14, 8, 7, and 4? So to find the average of these numbers, we're going to understand how averages work. Okay, and we just do that one. So first of all, the average is we add them up. So that's 12 plus 14 plus 8 plus 7 plus 4. And then we divide it by how many numbers there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We divide by 5. Okay, so we know that 12 plus 8 is 20. 20 plus 14. 20 plus 14 is 34. 34 plus 11 is equal to 45. So this top number should be 45, and then the bottom number should be 5. Now this is a fraction, which means division. So 45 divided by 5 just gives us 9, and the answer is 9. So the average is 9. Okay. Now the next one says the average of 8 numbers is 10. Find the total. So I prepared a little diagram for you already. So these are your 8 numbers. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Imagine those are 8 numbers. The reason they have a question mark inside of the boxes is because we don't know what the numbers are. They could be anything. They might be equal, they might not be equal, they could be anything. You don't know what they are. You can't guess what they are. Okay, so let's just pretend we have 8 numbers. Those are your 8 boxes. Now to find the average of because it says the average of the 8 numbers is 10. Is 10 means that after we find the average, it's going to equal to 10. So it's equal to 10. This is the average. But how do you find the average? Well, to find the average of these 8 numbers, we add all the numbers up. We add the 8 numbers up. And then we divide it by 8. Because there's 8 numbers, right? That's how we find the average. See? You find a total, then you divide it by how many numbers there are. So let me just get rid of that. So there you go. You add them up, divide by 8, and your answer should give you 10. Now the first thing we do, the only thing we gotta do here is it says find the total. So what they want you to find is the total of all these numbers here. Find the total of all those 8 numbers. How do we do that? Well, once you add all those numbers up, you're gonna get one big number, right? So you're gonna get one big number. So all of those 8 numbers add and become the big number, sum total, and we call that the total. So this would be the total. And then the total is being divided by 8, and that gives me 10. So you're wondering, what's this number? If we can figure out what the total is, then our job is done, because it says find the total. So to find the total, we have to think, what can we do? Imagine if I got a smaller, something a bit easier. What if I have something divided by 2 is equal to 3? What divided by 2 gives me 3? And we know the answer is 6 instinctively, right? How do you get 6 using 2 and 3? Using this number and this number. How do I get my 6 back? Well, 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Okay, we work backwards. So to get the number on the top, we just have to multiply the bottom numbers together, right? You multiply these two and you get the top number. That's just how it works. So if that's how it works, then we can use the same method, the same trick for this question. I want to find this big number here. I don't know what it is yet. So what are we going to do? So the way we find it is we say, okay, well 8, let me just change the color. So we say 8 times by 10. If I multiply these two, I will get my top number. 8 times 10, that's 80. And therefore you have the total is equal to 80, because 80 divided by 8 gives you 10, right? That makes sense. So the top number must be 80. Okay. Next one. The average of 2 numbers is 7. If one of the number is a 9, find the other number. So imagine, now it says the first sentence here. Let me just rub this out. The first sentence here, okay, is you have to understand what a sentence means and then set up the mathematics according to the question. So it says the average. That means we gotta find the average of these 2 numbers. There's your 2 numbers. Let's find the average. How do you find the average? Well, you're gonna add them up, and then you're gonna divide it by how many numbers there are. There are 2 numbers, so we divide it by 2. And it says the average is 7. Is means equals to 7. So there's the average. So if once I do my average working out, I get the answer is 7, because the average is 7. Okay. So therefore we have this situation going on. Now, the very first thing whenever you see this situation is we need to find the total. Okay, I need to find the total first before I can do anything else, because once I find the total, I can work out a lot of things with the total. So let's just find the total first. Well, the total, how do we find it? Again, we're going to do the same technique, we're going to do the same trick. We're going to take these 2 bottom numbers, we multiply together. 2 times 7 gives me 14. So therefore the total equals 14. And you can see that 14 divided by 2 doesn't indeed give me 7. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Makes sense. So now it says that one of the number is a 9. So imagine if I just get rid of this. And now it says that this number is now a 9. So one of the numbers is a 9. There's a 9 there. Find the other number. Okay. So what do we know? We know that something plus with 9 gives me a total of 14. What plus 9 gives me 14? Well, we do subtraction. We say 14 take away 9 and we get the answer is 5. So this number, I'm going to put in blue, has to be 5. Okay, 5 plus 9 is 14. So therefore, our 2 numbers are 9 and 5. So here's what it looks like. Oh, let's change it to red. You got your first number, which is a 5. We just worked it out. The second number is a 9. Okay, let's find the average of these two. 5 plus 9, 14. 14 divided by 2, and then you get 7. And everything works out perfectly. Okay, moving on to the next page. Alright, next one says, the average of 4 numbers, let me just double check if I'm on the right, nope, I'm not here, we're on the right layer. Okay, the average of 4 numbers is 8. So here's your 4 numbers, ignore that for now, okay. The average of 4 numbers is 8. So what do? We're gonna use this sentence, we're gonna write a little expression here. So the average of 4 numbers, how do you find the average of these 4 numbers? You add them up. The first thing we do is add them up and divide it by what? 4. Since there's 4 numbers, right? We divide it by 4. And the average is 8. So that's equal to 8. So the first thing again we're gonna do is we're gonna find the total. I always find a total. Always helpful. So the total equals to, how do we find a total? We multiply the bottom number and this number. 4 times 8, and that gives me 32. Okay, so we know the total is 32. Now it says if a 5th number is added. Now just remember that these four numbers add to 32. Okay, there's the 4 numbers. It says if a 5th number is added to the total, the new average is 10. So first we know that from this first picture we can figure out the total of the 4 numbers is 32. That's the first step. I know the first 4 numbers will add to 32. Okay, so let's draw this again. Now it says if a 5th number is added. So here again we got 5 numbers now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now it says if a 5th number is added to the total, the new average is 10. So we got the new average is 10. Find the 5th number. So what it means is that you have these 5 numbers now, right? Instead of 4 numbers, you got 5 numbers now. And the 5th number, we don't know what the 5th number is, but we got 5 numbers. And how do you find the average of 5 numbers? You add them up, add all 5 numbers up, and divide it by how much? We're going to divide it by 5, because there's 5 numbers. And it says the new average is 10. So the new average will be 10. Okay, this is the old average. Old, and this is the new average. Once you've added that new number, the old number only has 4 numbers, but the new number is those 4 numbers plus an extra number. Okay, so that's what it is. Now the question is, what is that new unknown number, which I put in a pentagon shape, the blue pentagon. So the first thing we do again is whenever we see the situation, we find the total of the 5 numbers. Okay, let me draw a bigger one. Total. Okay, the total of these 5 numbers is 5. They multiply these 2 numbers, 5 times 10, that's 50. So the total is equal to 50. But hold on, remember that let me just color this in green maybe. Got a tongue tied there. Remember that the first 4 numbers is equal to 32, right? So these 4 numbers here, it's going to add up to 32, because we figured it out from the first diagram, from the first picture. So now we know that the first 4 numbers add to 32. But then when you add one more number, it becomes 50. So what happens is this. What's happening is you have 32 plus with one more number, and it turns into a total of 50 now. So can you figure out the last number? Yes, you can. All you gotta do is to find this 5th number, we just do 50 take away 32. We find the difference between those and we get the answer there. And we get, well, this will become 4. Oops, that didn't look right. This turns into a 4. This turns into a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 4 minus 1 is, sorry, 4 minus 3 is 1. So therefore, that last number must be 18. Okay. So that 5th number, that's that pentagon there, is equal to 18. And there's your answer there. Alright, next one. My cricket batting average is 26 runs for 5 matches. So let's look at the first sentence and see if we can draw a picture. Okay. Now you got 5 matches. That means that each match gives you some. Every time you get a run, you get a certain point. Okay, so it could be maybe 120. This could be 20. This could be 40. Whatever. Each of these boxes represent a score. You got 5 scores because you did 5 runs. Every run you get 1 score. So now it says the average is 26 runs for 5 matches. So that means that the average of these numbers is 26. Okay, so we're going to add them up again. And divide it by how many numbers there are. There are 5 numbers, so we divide by 5, and the average is 26. It tells us in this question. Now, the first thing again we do is we find the total. So I'm going to put that in green this time. So the total is equal to, we multiply the bottom numbers together. 5 times 26, and the answer is 130. 130. All right. So we know that the 5 numbers add up to 130. These are the same 5 numbers. Okay, I just drew on this side as well. So this will be 130. These 5 numbers. And now it says, so this is the first diagram. Now let's look at the second diagram. It says if I score 128 run in my 6th match. So that means this is the 6th match. First match, second, third, fourth, 5th, 6th. Okay, there's 6 matches, this one here. Alright, so on this 6th match, you get 128 score. What is my new batting average? So that word average is over here. Okay, what's the new average? Well, to find the average of all 6 scores, we add them up. Okay, we add all of them up. We add this and this and this and this, which gives you 130, and then add one more 20. So you got 130 plus 128. All right, but now we divide it by what? Whoops, we divide it by how many scores are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we divide by 6. Okay, and now the question is, what is the new batting average? Okay, well, look at the top. Look what's happening on the top. You got 130 plus 128, and you're dividing it by 6, and that gives you the new average. So you can work it out. Okay, so add these up. This will be 258, and we're going to divide it by 6. Well, divide it by 6 and get your answer. I'll leave it to you. You can do that. If you don't know how to do that, you just use long division, 258, and you divide it by 6. Okay, hopefully you know how to do that. Okay, next one. The average of 6 numbers is 19. So here I prepared 6 numbers. It says the average is 19. So how do you find the average of these 6 numbers? You add them up, like usual. And you divide it by 6, because there are 6 numbers. And the resulting average is 19, because it says the average is 19. There you go. So now we want to find the total. I always find the total the moment I see this. It always helps. So the total of these 6 numbers is 6 times 19. 6 times 20 is 120. 6 times 19 will be 114 then. Okay, so therefore this will be 114. The total is 114. Great. Now it says a 7th number is added and the new average is 20. So here's your same 6 numbers. Same 6 numbers. Okay. And we're gonna add a 7th number. And the new average is 20. Okay, so how do you find the average of these 7 numbers? First we add up all 7 numbers. There are 7 boxes, 7 numbers, and we divide it by 7. To find the average, we add 7 numbers, divide by 7, and it says the new average. So it says the new average is 20, so we put 20 over here. Okay. Now, what other information do we know? We drew the diagram. Now, what else do we know? The question is, what's the 7th number? Okay. So, what do we know? We know that the first 5 numbers add up to what? The first 5 numbers add up to 114. So all of these add up to a total of 114. Actually, I'll put that in green so you won't be confused. 114. Okay. So look at this whole thing here. What's happening? Can you see what's going on? You got 114 plus with one more number, and then divided by 7 gives me 20. So what are we going to do? So what we're going to do is this. We are going to find the total of all 7 numbers. I can work it out. How do you find the total of all those numbers on top there? Well, easy. Take the bottom number, multiply them together, right? If I multiply 7 times 20, I will get 140. So all these 7 numbers add up to 140. Now the first 6 numbers is 114. So you got 114 plus with one more number, and you're going to get 140 as a total. So how do we find the number? We do subtraction. So this unknown number is equal to 140, subtract 114. This becomes a 3, this becomes a 10, 10 minus 4 is 6, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So therefore, the 7th number, which is represented by the pentagon, is equal to 26, and there's your answer. Okay, so the 7th number, 26, there's your answer. Alright, moving on to the next page. Now the next one says, the average of 4 numbers is 8. If one of the number is a 10, if one of the number which is a 10 is removed, what is the new average? So let's have a look. It says the average of 4 numbers is 8. So let's look at the first sentence and draw this picture. We got 4 numbers, right? Here's your 4 numbers. The last one is bigger for a reason. I'll show you why. But just imagine that just 4 different numbers. Don't worry about the bigger shape there. It doesn't make any difference right now. So to find the average of these 4 numbers, we add them up and we divide it by 4 because it's 4 numbers. And the resulting average is 8. So therefore the average will be 8. Now it says, actually, first of all, before we do anything, it's always a good idea to find the total. The total is equal to, oh whoops, what happened to my 8? It's gone. Alright, so my total is 4 times 8, which equals to 32. So the total must be 32. Okay, so we know that. Now it says if one of the number which is a 10 is removed. So what it's saying is that one of the numbers is 10. So here's a 10. This is one of the numbers is 10. If we remove this number, we remove it, get rid of it. The total is no longer 32. You can see, right? The total is for the 4 numbers. But if you remove one of the number 10, how much do you have left? You take away 10, you get 22. So these 3 numbers add to 22, isn't it? And the last one is a 10. So therefore, we know that the 3 numbers must be 22. Okay, now it says, what is my new average? So what they want to do is we got 4 numbers, and we remove one number. We got 3 numbers. They say, what's the new average now? What's the average of the 3 numbers now? So we're gonna find the average of 3 numbers. We know that the 3 numbers add to 22, right? So to find the average of the 3 numbers, we add them up and divide it by 3. And the question is, what is this new average? What's that number there? Well, to do this question, we need to find a total of the 3, and we already did that. We found a total of the 3 gives us 22. We did a subtraction there, and you get 22. So therefore, 22 divided by 3. Okay. Again, this is an improper fraction. So let's change it to mixed numeral. How many 3's go into 22? Well, the answer is 7. 7 times 3 is 21, and remainder 1. 1/3. So the answer, the new average is 7 1/3, and you're done. Alright, next one. It says the average of 5 numbers is 8. So here's your 5 numbers. Let's add them up to find the average and divide it by 8. Oh, sorry, 5. And the answer is 8. A number was removed, making the new average to be 6. So a number was removed. Okay, so first things first. We don't know. So we got 5 numbers. Oh, okay. here we got 5 numbers. I don't know why there's a 6 number there. It should not be there. Okay, so let's look at this one. The first thing I forgot to do was to find the total. And the total is 5 times 8, which is equals to 40. Okay. Now it says a number was removed, making the new average to be 6. So imagine if I removed this green one here. Okay, get rid of this guy. Okay. So now you only have the 4 numbers here. So you got those 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So one of the numbers removed. Now it says a number was removed, making the new average to be 6. So that means that if you remove that number, the average of these remaining one, the new average should be 6. So let's add them up. And divide it by 4 because there's 4 numbers, and the new average is 6. This is the new average. This is the old average. Okay. So the new average is 6. And again, once you have this situation, we're going to find the total. Total is equal to 4 times 6, which gives you 24. Okay, now the question is, what was the number that was removed? Okay, can you have a look at these two and see what's going on here? I'll put it in what different color maybe? Let's try purple. Okay. So, when we have, we know the total of the 4 numbers is 24. So these 4 numbers are the same 4 numbers. That's equal to 24. 24, if you add one more number, you get 40. Because the total of all 5 numbers is 40, right? So that means that, this is what it means. It means that 24, the first 4 numbers out of 24, you're going to add one more number. And you're going to get a total of 40. So what's that number? Well, that number is 40, take away 24. You do a subtraction, you get that number. This will be a 3, this will be a 10, 10 minus 6 is 4, so 10 minus 4 is 6, 3 minus 2 is 1, so the answer is 16. That means that last number must equal to 16. So that answers the question. What was the number that was removed? That was 16. Okay. Next one, question 9. Is it the last one? Oh no, it's not. Okay. The average of 4 numbers is 7. If 3 is added to each number, what is the new average? Okay. The average of 4 numbers is 7. So here's your 4 numbers. Imagine I add them up and I divide it by 4. And that gives me 7 because it says the average of 4 numbers is 7. Okay, so we write that. Now it says 3 is added to each number. So imagine if I add 3 to each number. I'm going to add, actually, first of all, let's just not forget to do the important thing, which is to find the total. Total is 4 times 7, which is 28. Great. Now it says, what happens if I add 3 to each number? 3 is added to each number. So we're going to add 3 to each of these numbers. What is the new average? Okay. I don't know what number each one of these are. I don't know. But I do know that the 4 of these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, they add up to 28. Then we're going to add 3, add 3, add 3, add 3. So therefore, you're going to get 28. This is 28. You're going to add 3, add 3, add 3, add 3. And what are you going to get? Well, this will be 28. This will be what? 3 plus 3 plus 3. That's plusing 12, isn't it? So 28 plus 12 gives you 40. So the total of all 4 numbers is now 40. We don't know what they are, but we do know they're 40. Okay, so the 4 numbers gives you 40. 40 divided by 4, and that gives me 10. So the new average is 10. I hope that makes sense. I didn't go too fast. So I'll say it again just real quickly. So all of these 4 numbers add up to 28. Okay, we did that. And the reason I found that out is because we've got this. 4 times 7, 28. So we know this is at 28. Then you're going to add 3. Then you're going to add 3. Then you're going to add 3, and then you're going to add 3. So together we've added 12 to all these numbers. There's 4. There's still 4 numbers, okay? There's not 8 numbers. It's just that the numbers get updated. So now this is a new number. That's a new number. That's a new number. They all get updated. So, and each of them get updated by 3. So in total, there's a total of 12 extra on top of the 28. So we got 28 for the 4, and then you're gonna add another 12, and obviously there's still 4 numbers. Okay, divide by 4. So now we divide by 4. You get 40 divided by 4, and that gives you 10. All right. I think that was the last one. Hope that helps with understanding the idea of the averages. Pretty hard to understand averages. So yeah, hope that helps.